how do you understand what's happening outside the four walls of your business and then translate that into better execution, better decision making? So we lead this market. We're leaders in the Forrester wave that Forrester published when they did that. We've been number one in the Product Marketing Alliance, which is the largest professional association for product marketing. We've been ranked number one 2 years in a row by them. We work with over 600 of the best and most sophisticated businesses on the planet, from Dropbox to ZoomInfo to SurveyMonkey, Discover, and Zendesk, and helping them do this. And the backdrop is there's never been a good way to do competitive intelligence,
right?
Because it's always been a human-driven effort. It's always been a research project. It's always been a consulting project. And the challenge there is it's expensive, right? When you approach, competitive through, human-driven effort, but the expense isn't the big problem. The big problem is those insights lag the market, right? Because they take weeks or months. By the time you walk that insight down the hall to your head of product or your head of marketing or to someone in customer experience, they're like, gosh, that would have been pretty useful 2 months ago. But right. You know what? A lot of what we're trying to do, we've already made those decisions. And so a lot of competitive intelligence, has been, has fallen flat, frankly, historically. What we do is we drive that to software. And so you're right, it's a broad undertaking. It's essentially what we're saying is competitive intelligence can be programmatic, it can be real time, and therefore far more actionable inside of the business. We'll get into how we do that, but you're absolutely right. It is a big idea. It is how do companies build a competitive backbone and capability where it's always been about human-driven effort.
So I'm really interested because I can't imagine this is push a single button and out comes your competitive intelligence.
If only we'd already be public. We'd be a public company if
right.
That were the case.
So I imagine there's still a fair amount of, at least in the beginning stages of an engagement, of understanding the nature of a company's business and trying to do some basic footwork to set things up. Am I right? Or is it kind of automated there too?
No, you're right. So if you take a step back, there's two big sort of shifts that make it possible to do competitive intelligence with software, right? Where historically it had to be research and consulting and human-driven effort. First shift is so much more information online about every business in what we think of as the digital footprint of a business, right? Google's index is 100 times bigger than it was a decade ago. Think about all the review sites. Think about Reddit. Think about Glassdoor. Didn't even exist 15 years ago, right? And now there's so much information online about every business, right? So you can programmatically mine that for intelligence, right? The other shift is across the company, right? In your typical enterprise, looking at your product folks and your go-to-market, your sales and customer success and your marketing folks. These folks are using software all day, every day to do their job, right? Chat software, all right, 100 million people active on Slack and Teams every day. They're inside the CRM system. They're inside, sales enablement platform or whatever else. So what we can do is we can programmatically access insight from those systems, right? Is the first piece. But the other piece is you can solve this last mile problem of competitive intelligence, which is how do you get an insight to someone who needs it in the moment that they need it, right? So how do you get an insight to a sales rep in the context of a competitive deal they're trying to win inside the CRM system? Help them advance that deal, right? Or how do you get an insight to someone in customer experience who's trying to make a decision, and there's been a shift around competitive pricing dynamics that they need to understand, or, around that decision. So to your point, this is a process. We partner with clients. It's the process of how do we bring about organizational change for you to really change, like pull these new signals into your business, and then build the capability to analyze and draw the insight from those, and then get those insights to the right places at the right time. And there's a lot of change management. There's a lot of systems and process integration and change that needs to happen. We automate all the heavy lifting and pieces that can be automated, but you're 100% right that people at the end of the day drive almost every important organizational change, and it's no different when it comes to competitive.
So there's the automated portion of this, the data pulling and pushing portion of it. Does Crayon also provide the advisory services to help with that change management? Because, you know, and we've talked to a lot of CX folks, especially who live these battles daily of, listen, I have these great insights and I can actually move the needle were it not for, you know, the big Titanic I'm pulling behind me that just doesn't want to turn. So how does that all get managed? Or is am I just going a little too far down the road? Is Crayon's job just to deliver those insights?
No, we look at, so our number one value as a company is customer success. And it's, probably might sound a little bit cliche to you to hear to somebody say that, but it's really true. It's really and genuinely and deeply true. And I hear our customers reflect it back to me as part of the reason I'm confident saying it. It's not just us saying it. It's my best customers will say to me, it's not normal the extent to which you guys go to help us succeed, for a company at your size. So we think of it as, how do we help our customers succeed, period. We're a software company, right? So we've got all the innovation and what we sell is software. But really, this is a new category, right? And in a new category, it's a new category in the sense that it's software-driven competitive intelligence, right? People have been doing competitive for a long time, but they've been doing it in a different way. Yeah. It's slower twitch, it's human-driven. So what we do with clients feels new. It really feels like a new category. In a new category, to succeed, customers need more than just tools. They need coaching, they need best practices, they need a bunch of help. And so we provide that, because without it, our customers won't get there.
Right.
Many of our customers, won't get there.
Maybe that's why I'm so intrigued by what you do, because our whole reason for being here is to broaden the customer engagement conversation from all these things. And you hear everybody complaining about, we're so siloed and I can't get my data, I can't get, cooperation, cultures are clashing, et cetera. There needs to be somebody bridging those conversations. So that's what the customer is all about. It's a holistic approach to understanding your customer and then somehow engaging with them. So it takes so much of what you do, and I'm sure you do way more than just customer insights. And I would love to go through that, because I'm literally just fascinated by the model there. But it seems like I might just be imagining this, but I don't think I am, that US businesses, Western businesses are slowly turning a corner on understanding the value of the internal relationships as they relate to the bottom lines. In other words, the silos just aren't going to work anymore. We're past that phase. They had a function, but maybe not anymore. So maybe in another conversation, because this one could dogleg way to the left, I'd love to hear what you're seeing out there along those lines and how you advise people to manage that.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly see a lot of the dynamic that you're talking about. I think the goal is to be an insights-driven business, and how you've got to break down internal silos and organizational barriers and to achieve that. One of the interesting things about competitive intelligence is, in its original kind of incarnation, as it's been practiced last couple of decades, there's been a lot of uncoordinated and disaggregated activity around competitive across the company in different areas, right? And this team's doing a pricing analysis, and this team's doing a product teardown, and the corporate development folks are looking at some acquisitions that they could make, and and on and on. And so a lot of the way that we approach this, which I think is the right way to think about becoming an insights-driven business, is how do you pull a lot of that together into a single platform, and get these folks working together, and give them the tools and connectivity to between their different areas, so that they can really be focused and coherent like a laser, and trying to get insight and make use of it, rather than a bunch of different kind of flashlights pointed in different directions.
Right, right.
Sort of the analogy.
Orbiting the same sun, but moving in different directions.
Right.
So without pointing fingers or naming names, are there any commonalities that you see in companies that are better able to utilize your insights and activate them than others? And if you want to name names, that's cool, but nice cat.
Sorry,
That's a raccoon.
cat,
I'm not sure.
I don't have a door on my office, so the cat just made an appearance there. This is our new reality here.
There you go. I have a version of my own. Yeah. So I mean, do you see commonalities in, say, certain sectors or product types, or in companies' readiness to really use what you deliver to them?
Yeah. So let me give you a good customer example, and then that will be a good. Then I can broaden out to a little bit of some of the characteristics that you noticed there. Dropbox is a great example to kind of highlight a lot of the value and impact that we can have with a client. So we power compete for all of Dropbox. Okay, essentially meaning that every won and lost competitive deal globally, right, flows through our platform, through our Salesforce integration. We power all of the competitive alerts across the company via email and via Slack. We're the system of record for all of the employee sourced competitive intelligence that is submitted through employees. We've helped the team at Dropbox drive up their win rates in their sales organization, and drive other KPIs. And there's a couple of use cases there. So one of the use cases is around their product organization. How do we speed up time to market? Right, which is having their product managers and product marketing folks, pricing teams, doing real-time competitive monitoring, so that they've got the information to accelerate time to market.